So they arrived. Finally, they arrived there after us having to do a lot of things to keep guests entertained. They finally arrived there. When they arrived there, the conditions that they brought the food into the venue was like, what is this?
Welcome you now to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here. I'm your host, Crispin Valentin. Thank you very much for the opportunity to checking us out today. Make sure that you go and subscribe to the channel. Give us a like, leave us a comment. If you're enjoying the content, it's very important for us whenever you go and subscribe because it helps us grow. We continue to grow thanks to you, so thank you very much. Today, we have an amazing individual. I seen her in action. I just know for sure that she's amazing because I seen her do her thing. A wedding coordinator of the DFW area, Texas and beyond. She does English and Spanish. Originaria de Mazatlan, Sinaloa.
Yes.
Yeah. Owner of weddings by Mireya. Mireya en la casa. Hello, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. And you? Thank you. Thank you for inviting me over here to your podcast.
Absolutely. Again, I seen you in action. I love to represent different types of individuals doing amazing things. As I mentioned, I seen you in action plenty of times, and I thought you were pretty cool to work with, and I'm pretty sure you have an amazing story también.
Thank you.
Pero primero, we're gonna do a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. Preguntas al Chile. Do you like this?
Preguntas
You
al
like that?
Chile.
A lot of people already hear it, and then when you put them in a hot chair, they just start panicking. They don't know which one to pick. Lista. Tacos o tortas?
Tacos,
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
corn tortillas,
Gorditas o sopes?
gorditas,
Jarritos o Mexican coca?
Mexican coca,
Agua de horchata, jamaica o tamarindo?
horchata,
Horchata. Salsa verde or salsa roja?
always salsa verde.
Yes, team salsa verde all day. We're just saying. Burritos or quesadillas?
I don't like none.
Either?
Yeah, no.
Cool. Menudo or pozole?
Pozole,
Pozole. Churros or flan?
churros, de cajeta.
¿De cajeta? Valentina, Tapatio, Cholula, or Tabasco hot sauce?
Valentina.
Nice. Las conchitas, the pastries. It's funny because you have a conchita vendor sometimes, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The brown ones, the white ones, or the pink ones?
The white ones.
The white ones.
Yes.
Shout out to you for letting me take a bunch of them to my family. I took like a dozen. We didn't do that. Person that the event was for that day. All right, this was a little different, completely different than the other question. A conspiracy theory that you heard one time, then when you heard it, it's like, man, that has to be true. Well, that could really be true.
Ay, los aliens.
Aliens?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, because I had experiences and that's weird, and I don't know what's real and what's not real. So, but I
Okay.
do believe on that.
Okay, so tell me the story. What happened?
I used to live in Kaufman back then, and I was driving from Mesquite to Kaufman. So you gotta go through Forney. That's a new. Back then it was kind of like a growing area. It's still growing, but
So it's more country. There was no lights hardly.
there was some lights, but
Uh-huh.
not like right now. So like we were like literally driving. I was by myself actually, and then there were like this white round lights that came down. I would say like this, honestly, like the light
Really?
you have right here.
Yeah.
And literally like bajaron all the way down to like the como donde están los carros, and everybody from that side stopped and from my lane too, because we were freaking out. We
So
didn't know what
all
it
your
was.
side, people even around your side.
Yes.
Y
And
luego?
I couldn't do nothing. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should record, I should not record. So out of nowhere se volvieron a subir. Y ya, no se vieron.
And then what happened to other people that were around you that stopped?
All of us, we were freaking out. We just like agarramos y nos fuimos. We were so scared.
So scared.
Yes. I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah. What year was this?
2015? No, 2016.
2016.
Yes.
You still remember?
Yes.
Were you like terrified? Were you thought like, oh my god, all these movies that they talk about this is really happening right now?
I mean, I didn't know what to think at that point. I was like, me van a llevar los aliens.
Me parece que want to say this.
Yes.
Okay, when you hear the word Latino, Latina, Latinx, what first pops to mind?
I don't know, so many things. My background,
Hmm. Yeah,
everything about me. I mean,
awesome. So you do like that they call you Latina? Do you mind if they call you Latina? Do you care? Do you rather be Mexicana?
uh,
Human being,
I don't really mind. I don't really get offended easily by those things.
right?
Some people don't know the difference, and
Mm-hmm.
some people they really don't care about it.
Right.
I'm like, I don't care.
That's awesome. All
Yeah.
right, so let's start a little bit. So, were you born in Mazatlan, Sinaloa? Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was it that you came to the United States?
In 2004.
2004.
Yes.
Do you remember your journey to the States?
Yes.
How was it? Can you share with us?
Yes. So we got here as illegal immigrants.
Uh-huh.
I have DACA right now. But I remember the the journey.
Really?
It was kind of hard a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
um, so we travel from Mazatlan to San Luis, where we have a lot of family, and from there to here, pues cruzamos el río. We got deported the first time. I
Mm,
remember que nos agarró la migra, and then they put you in those little cuartitos that are so cold.
yeah.
Pero, sí, yo no me acuerdo bien, pero my mom knew how to prep us with some questions that they were going to ask us and this and that. I don't even know. Yo no sé ni cómo me acordé de las preguntas because my mom was so scared
Mm-hmm.
that supposedly they will say that they will, like, they can say that you're not actually, her daughter, and they will take you somewhere y no sé qué tanto. So
Yeah.
my mom had like a lot of questions that we had to memorize for to make sure we were answering the same thing. But hey, we did right. So,
Awesome.
and then nos deportaron, and then we tried for the second time. I think it was the following day. Y pues ya de ahí pasamos. So I don't know,
How old were you at that time?
12, 12.
12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
did all your family come at once, or was it just the siblings?
My siblings and my mom. My dad was already here.
So your dad was the one that was already here. He's the
Yes.
one that pretty sure made arrangements, call people,
Mm-hmm.
pay the money to bring you
Yes.
over there.
Yes.
So you get caught and you get processed.
Yes.
How is it when you get caught? How does it feel getting caught?
Ay, yo estaba muy chiquita
Yeah.
to kind of like, I guess if it will happen to me right now, it will be another story, but it's, you don't really get it at 12. It's like, okay, pues you're not really understanding everything that's going on. Pero pues sí, te suben a un carro. It was like an SUV, ya vas viendo like todo así en el freeway que te suben y vas viendo
Mm-hmm.
las luces de los lados. I remember que pasamos una Walmart y luego ya llegamos al detention center y
Yeah.
ya te toman huellas. And I remember this family that was there. The guy, un muchacho, pero yo creo tenía como 17 años,
Mm-hmm.
traía en todo su cuerpo, o sea, dinero, como que se lo pegaron con cinta
Yeah.
y ya se lo estaban terminando de contar y eran 17,000 pesos.
Mm.
Y entonces el oficial le pregunta, "Why are you carrying so much money? You can just go back to your country with this." And the guy was like, "No, porque con esto no sobrevivo para siempre." And eso siempre se me quedó aquí como que dije, pues, people are wanting to leave for a better opportunity.
Right.
Pero
Right.
sí me acuerdo que le preguntó un oficial así que de dónde era y era de, pues, un pueblito bien chiquito de allá de por Guerrero. Y he's like, "No, allá está la vida muy difícil."
So the Guerrero, that's where he was from.
Yeah.
And he just taped the money to his body.
Yeah.
Al cuerpo lo tenía.
Mhm.
Wow, that's crazy. And then, so did they keep you together or did they separate
No, they
you?
do separate
They
you, like,
separate you
it
with
was
those intentions that they're gonna question you, make sure that
mhm.
you are kids to your mom.
Yeah.
Wow. Ya la segunda vez when you crossed over, ya llegan. How does that feel?
Good. It was like, "Oh, okay, well, we didn't get caught today." So, yeah.
So did ya come directly here to the DFW area o para dónde van?
Sí. Bueno, llegamos a, ¿cómo se llama? Soy mala para
Oh,
los
it's okay.
nombres, pero, no llegamos aquí, obviamente llegas ahí a un lugar en la on the border
On the
y ya
border
de ahí
town.
te mandan para acá,
Mhm.
pero o llegamos
You went to
a
Austin.
Austin, y de ahí we have a lot of family there, de ahí ya
Mhm.
nos venimos para acá.
Yeah. So, cuando yo llegué, también crucé igual que tú, pero yo me cruzaron en una inner tube, crossing the inner tube
Oh,
under a fence across a softball field
ujú.
and waited at a Whataburger. I think it was a Whataburger to make sure that the migra wasn't coming.
Oh, wow.
And then finally, after that, we go into the car, go to a hotel, shower, get ready. And then we were supposed to be a lady's kids, pretending to be her
Ujú.
kids so we can fly to Dallas. And we landed here in Dallas somewhere.
Wow,
Pero no nos agarraron. They didn't get us.
that's good.
Yeah, they didn't get us the first time. So being from Mexico, being from Mazatlan, having a life, I don't know how your life was over there. I know si era pueblo or it was a town. How was your?
Es como entre los 2
Uh-huh.
porque yo soy de Mazatlán, pero estoy como a media hora de la playa, de ahí del puerto, ¿cómo se
Nice.
llama? Pues de ahí de la playa,
Not next
pues.
to the beach.
Ajá.
Nice. So it's a little bit of both, but is it way different compared to getting to Austin? Because it's for me cuando yo llegué, it was way different. Like I had never seen a lot of the things that I see when I got here comparado to Mexico. For
Mm,
me,
no, no, porque honestamente no era como un pueblo o rancho
yeah,
que diga yo: "Oh, I haven't been exposed". Mis papás sí nos sacaban así a varias cosas. Y, pues, todos los mandados de que la comida tienes que ir a ahí, pues, o sea, soy de Mazatlán, pero el lugar se llama El Castillo.
El
And you
Castillo.
drive like 30 minutes to there, and estás ahí donde están todas las tiendas, la
Mhm.
playa y todo eso. Pues, honestamente no, simplemente yo creo las casas están hechas diferente, allá
Yeah.
todas son de como de ladrillo o de
Mhm.
bloques ya,
Yeah.
entonces, pues, era nada más la diferencia del material, pero no era como una gran diferencia que yo notaba.
Yeah.
O I guess because of my age too.
Yeah, that's possible too. Did your dad ever explain to you why they wanted to bring y'all all? Was there not a lot of opportunities happening over there?
En ese entonces, allá en Mazatlán, estaba muy feo, estaba
Mhm.
muy caliente todo. Entonces
¿Te refieres a respecto de cartel, actividades
ajá,
así,
sí.
cosas así? ¿Pesado,
Entonces,
pesado?
sí, fue
Yeah.
cuando empezó todo. Entonces,
Mm,
mi papá ya se quería venir para este lado, ¿verdad? Porque obviamente las oportunidades allá si no son las mismas cuando no estudiaste y
right.
todo eso, y ya para sobrevivir con 3 hijas y, pues, mamá y papá, o sea, tienes que involucrarte en algo para poder sobrevivir back then, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it was getting close to them, and they're like, "You know what? We need to go porque estas están creciendo, things can happen". Ya oíamos que la vecina, qué tal, esto y el otro. And we were like mi
Mm,
mamá, yo me acuerdo que ella decía que ella tenía mucho miedo como que, like, nos fuera a pasar o que nos fueran a robar o que, things that happen
right.
con los carteles y todo. Entonces allá pues that's why my dad decided to come here. Y ya después de unos años, mi mamá was like, this is like not good. We can't be by ourselves. We need to go. Y ya
Yeah.
por eso we came over here.
Awesome. That's great. I mean, some people might not even understand the reason why people keep coming over, to the United States for whatever reason. It's just like, unfortunately, the area that you were at, your mom had concerns of something happening to you all, maybe even kidnap, whatever the case might be, from people that are not in the making the best decisions in life. And why not seek a better opportunity? So, you know. But y'all were doing all right over there in Mexico as far as a living, or no tanto, o más o menos.
Sí, es because mi papá ya estaba aquí, entonces como carencias que yo te diga no, porque he was already here, but he wasn't with us. So it's like you pick and
Mm,
choose. You either have struggle with stuff or you have you don't have your family member. O sea, ¿qué quieres?
yeah,
Y a mi mamá también se le hacía como muy pesado, como ser puras mujeres y estar sola, y no como había como un hombre que nos cuidara. Y hasta cierto punto me acuerdo que mi hermana, la más grande, pues como que ya tenía ella, ya iba a cumplir 15 años y ya a esa edad ya se empezaban a casar allá. Yo me acuerdo.
Yeah.
Y mi mamá yo creo que también estaba como que, ay, se va a casar mi hija la más grande, mejor vámonos.
Pero las grandes, pero tan chiquitas, solamente
Sí,
15 años, right?
sí.
15
No,
years
but
old.
like hay compañeras de ella de la escuela que a esa edad se casaron.
Es
Es
típico allá, ¿verdad? Es algo que pasa, sucede, es just kind of normal.
not anymore.
Mhm.
Antes sí, antes yo me acuerdo de la edad de nosotros, así bien jovencillos, ya se casaban y you're like, "What?". Pero ahorita ya no. Like, whenever, like, cuando hablo así con familia o conocidos de allá, ya no pasa como antes. Yo creo que
Mhm.
antes era más como un escape de la realidad de lo que vivían en su familia por abusos de, de todos los tipos o carencias que tenían en su casa. Entonces, como que yo, porque lo he platicado con gente que ha pasado, por eso lo digo, querían como escapar de eso que estaban viviendo, pero no se ponían a pensar dónde iban a terminar y en veces terminaban peor.
Mm.
Y ya estas conversaciones que yo he tenido con gente por curiosidad, como, ¿por qué te casaste tan joven? Oh, yo
Mhm.
pensé que iba a salir de un lugar feo, iba a estar mejor, pero estuvo peor, mi esposo me pegaba, o esto y el otro, and I'm like, oh, that's why.
Wow. So, también otra preocupación de tu mamá that your sisters who might start having wanting to get married, or I don't think it might have been the case because only y'all three, so maybe there was none of that other stuff going on that maybe she wasn't, but it was a real thing happening at the
Yeah.
time. Y luego llegas aquí, you just get involved with school and everything else. Is there any thoughts during that time of you even doing coordinating, or doing anything regarding to weddings at that time?
No, no,
Nunca?
nothing, nothing. Like, I
No?
never thought of anything.
Yeah. But you really enjoy doing some type of logistics just in general, right? Is that because you had a jobs that dealt with that kind of helped you realize that that's something you liked?
Yeah, I started working when I was 14 years old. My sister actually was a supervisor for this cleaning company in some,
Mhm.
small venues y todo. And from there, like cuando ella ya se casó, she needed a backup y yo en veces la cubría y entonces I
Mm.
started managing people, managing hours and this and that. And I really like that. I really like it. Y entonces from there I start getting, experience more and more on how to handle different things.
Wow. Okay, so let's get into the company. So you started Weddings by Mireya. When is the actual date that you start? Or was it by accident that somebody needed somebody to help and then you kind of realized that this might be something you can do? Or how did that occur?
I think it was by accident because my friend
Uh-huh.
back then, now is my comadre, she got married in 2016, and she was like, I need someone to help me coordinate my wedding. I really need someone. And I'm like, I don't know anything about it. But she knows I'm really bossy because back then I was a coordinator in a youth group in my church. So of course
Mm.
I was like todo tiene que ser en orden and this and that. So she really liked that. That's why we get along because we're like that.
Bodhi Abasi?
Yes. And she's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna tell you what to do and everything." So from that wedding, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Pero I was like, nah, pues I never really thought that there was like someone that did that. I just liked it and I'm like, okay, se acabó la boda y todo. Pero luego pasó el tiempo, conocidos se casaron y, oh, yo te puedo ayudar con eso. And they were like, what? This is a lot of work. We never thought about it. Y ya les explicaba el proceso de una boda o así o así. And they were like, wow, my goodness, this is amazing. I'm glad you're here to help me. And then I remember I did a friend's wedding, and from that wedding, they called me like four people, random people. And I'm like,
Mhm.
how do you got my number? Like, who do you, like, what? And they're like, oh, es que, like, tu amiga me lo dio, and I really want you to help us. And then I was so scared. I'm like, no, because, like, I never done, like, what if I do something wrong? What if, I don't know. And then I will always go back to my comadre, and she'll be like, but you were able to do it, and this and that. Yeah, she's the one that encouraged me to go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
And back then when I started, my friend, I was working in the hospital. One of my friends from there got married, and I helped her on her wedding. And she's like, "You should do this as a business. You should definitely do it as a business. Like, you have all the potential. Like, my day would have been nothing compared to what how it was if you wouldn't been there. Pero pues como que todavía I was like, I'm scared, I'm scared. And then like she called me, like we were on the phone for like, I don't know, maybe an hour. She was explaining me different things, cuánto debes de cobrar and this and that. I Google
Was
and
she
it's
doing
like,
it?
yeah,
Was
cause
she
she's
doing
like,
it?
ella también es, she's a type A person. She was like
Mhm.
Googling things like, look, Mireya, you can make this much money if you do this and that. And I'm like, I don't know,
But
like, I
she
don't
was
know.
never doing it. She just wanted to
No,
encourage you
she
to
wanted to
go ahead and
encourage
do it.
me.
Okay.
Yes. And then ya me senté y dije, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? And I'm like, dije, bueno, let's go ahead and do it and see qué pasa.
Mhm.
Hice mi primera boda. The couple was like really happy. Hice mi segunda boda and the couple was happy. And I was like, I love this.
Really?
I really like the, ¿cómo se dice? Like seeing the couples happy at the end because they weren't really stressed about anything, that really like me llenaba mi corazón y yo decía, oh, this is amazing. Y cuando venían los papás, oh my goodness, gracias, nosotros no hicimos nada. We actually enjoy the party. This is what we wanted. Y como que decía, this is what I want to do. I want to help, the couples and their
Mhm.
families so they can have a good time in
Okay.
their event.
Let's backtrack for the very first one that you did. Like before you decided to go forward, what are the things that you because at that time you said you really liked that, you really loved it at that moment. What were the things that you were seeing at that time, even if you didn't, you were just doing because you didn't really know you was doing, you were just doing. What was the things that you were seeing and start realizing I really like this, I really love this?
The logistics, having to
Mm,
put a timeline together, a qué horas llega este, a qué horas llega el otro, but you can't do this because you gotta keep in mind that this vendor has to do this and this other vendor has to do that. So all the logistics, it was like, it's amazing. And nobody was really thinking about those details. And I'm like,
mhm,
but you can't do like this because catering will be coming on the back and there's like not a door in this venue through here, so it's like you gotta wait or not
mhm,
do it or this and that. And the way my mind was working differently than the other person, like
right,
the couples, the questions that will come up to me that they never thought about it, and it was an issue if you really don't address those issues.
mhm.
So I think that's why the way the logistic stuff.
Okay. So what got you prepared to even go ahead and help your friend out with your comadre with that first wedding? I know probably YouTube has something to do with it. Who else kind of sort of guided you through what even how can you begin and how can you actually execute at that time?
Yeah, of course, YouTube. I did a lot of reading of books. I bought a lot of like people sell all kind of stuff online, so you
Mm-hmm.
can like guides and everything. And I read everything. I will like ask questions. I have a vendor that I constantly talk to. She's from California
Mm-hmm.
and she's amazing. She's amazing. Whenever I have any questions, I always ask her, "Hey, what do you think? What do you think about this and that?" And I remember establishing that relationship with her since the beginning. So she's like there. And my comadre, when we started, she was really good on detailing that timeline. That with that, until this day, that's what I use.
The same timeline.
Not the same timeline,
Pretty close.
but the what I would
With the layout,
the
how it will
layout,
go.
how it
Mm-hmm.
will go, because most of the events are pretty much the same. They
Yeah.
have to have a star of and an end, like they all have similar stuff.
What is the name of that vendor? ¿Cómo se llama? The one
Uh
that helped you out, that you built a relationship with?
weddings, the wedding coordinator.
The wedding coordinator se
Yes.
llama?
The wedding
That's
coordinator,
pretty
yes.
cool. How did y'all meet?
Online. I
Yeah,
just sent her a message on social media and she
yeah,
answered. Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, so fast forward. Why is there hesitation? I mean, I know there's a big deal, right? Doing a wedding, it's an important day. You don't want to mess it up. Well, did you really kind of sort of start and analyze the reason why you were hesitant to just go ahead and pursue it? What kind of stopped you?
I guess it's just being scared of, not knowing what I was doing because I didn't have the experience like an actual vendor. And I'm like, what if I make a mistake? I don't want to ruin anybody's wedding or anybody's event. Like a bad vendor can really make a huge mess and a huge
Mm-hmm.
difference in someone's special day. So I didn't want to be that one vendor.
Mm-hmm.
So that um was pretty much giving me a hard time. just to think about all that.
And what made you go ahead and just decide, like, let me know what, let's give it a go.
My friend
Just kept pushing you.
Ali,
It
yeah,
kept pushing you.
she's like, "Do it, Mireya, do it," and I'm like, "No." She's like, "You're so bossy. You will be good at this." Like, you know what? Maybe I should. I don't know. And to tell you the truth, like till this day, I don't do it for the money. Like I don't do it. I do it because I like it.
Hmm.
I really like it.
Yeah. You can see you enjoying yourself whenever you are out and about and getting everybody in line. Watch you on the corner over there, just keeping an eye on everybody, making sure everything's flowing
Yes.
correctly. Because I was watching you, you and I realized that I was studying you at the time, but I knew eventually we were going to have an interview. I was like, oh, you start. And then you go and talk to whoever, this person, whatever the case might be. So that's great. Okay, so you get yeah, now you got the flow. Now you got people that are finding you. You're getting referrals. Word of mouth is starting to spread. And then when did you begin to considering making the actual name of the company or the name of what's going to be what it's going to be for you? And
That
was there any
was
other names?
no. That was the name that I thought since the beginning. I'm like, I only want to focus on weddings. I don't want to do nothing else. Of course that changed later.
Uh huh.
But that was the name that I always thought about. Um in the since the first wedding that I did, I was like that was on 20 what year you got married? 20 so 2021.
Mm-hmm.
2020 and 2021. So that's we were still during the pandemic
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the couples that were coming to me, it was like, oh, because like the vendors that I had, they're like already booked and we had to change the date and this
Mm-hmm.
and that. So I really need someone. It was mainly family and friends from people that I had already done their weddings. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, if you can find that vendor, that coordinator or planner, reach out to her. I'm sure she can help you. And I was feeling the pressure by it. And then I felt sorry for these couples that they couldn't have their wedding the way they wanted because of COVID. So I'm like, bueno,
Mm.
maybe les voy a ayudar, pobrecitos.
Yeah. So you did it. You went through. And how was COVID dealing with COVID to having to do weddings? Because I know for a long time nothing was happening, but then when they opened to where we were able to do some events, man, people were flooding those venues
Yeah.
with a lot of events. People were getting married Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Still, was there a lot of work at that time for
I
you?
was barely starting like the
Mm,
actual like my actual company. So yes, there was
yeah,
a lot of business out there. Pero of course, I had already my baby. My baby was here already. No, actually, I was pregnant. Never mind. My baby was already here. He was little. So my husband was like, "I know you love this and everything, but that baby needs his mom too, and
yeah.
can't be gone the whole time, right?" And then I will be at the weddings and miss my baby. And I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? I miss my baby.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, no, no. So I have to like, just take a small amount of weddings per year.
Hmm. Awesome. Okay, tell me the difference between uh, a wedding planner and then a wedding coordinator. What are the main differences and the misunderstandings? So what is what?
So a wedding planner usually helps you with pretty much everything from setting up a budget, choosing vendors and designing a lot of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Me is more like I show up. Of course, I start working with them a month before their wedding, but I'm just there the day of the actual wedding. I don't pick the vendors for them. I don't design stuff for them and all that. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like that. It's just like couples come to me with some of their vendors and they're like, okay, so these are the vendors that I have, and I have to handle their them, not like the planner. The planner is like more in charge of the whole thing, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't do communication with a lot of the vendors to make sure that, hey, so do you have this and this and that. I don't do that. i
Mm-hmm.
i just go by whatever the couple decided to you know to um to get from, like, let's say a DJ. Are
Mm-hmm.
they doing um you know the cold sparks, music, lighting, and all that? I just check that they have it right,
Right.
and that's it. planners know that they are the ones that they sign everything with the couples, and
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
No.
No te nace
No
hacer
me
or get too much.
nace. So last year, honestly, was my biggest year, and I people was calling me left and right for planning, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't do planning because it's a lot of work. It coordinating, it's a lot of work, and then adding more to it, it was something that it's something that I really don't see myself doing.
Yeah, but then you said earlier something too that you like a wedding, a couple that comes to you. You have them. I don't know how it goes, but you usually have like some meeting, and you really kind of like an interview. You ask them a lot of things because you want to make sure that you know exactly what they're going to go, what direction,
Mhm.
whether it be cultural, whether it be stuff like that. Is that part of the things that you do? Is there like a consultation that takes place?
Yes, so you do a consultation, and of course, as I'm getting more and more, more experience by now, um, I learned that you have to do a lot of questions so to make sure that the couple is the right fit for you and that they're, vice versa. Because
Mm.
not because they reach out to you, it means that you will be able to work with them. So, of
Right.
course, I had to deny some couples. Some couples are like, never mind. And I'm okay with that because you don't want to be working with, people that you just, you guys are not matching. It's like the
What
vibe.
parts usually do you? It's great that you're honest, right? Because some people, like you said, it's great that you don't do it for the money either,
Mhm.
and that you enjoy it. Because other people will be like, "How can you not get along with a couple if that's who you're gonna be working with and wanting to do it just for the money?" Because you can kind of sort of see logically something's not gonna
Mhm.
go down correctly. So whenever you do that, why do you? What is the most challenges as far as the reason why you're not able to work with a couple? Is just something that you hear that you're just not gonna go?
When I start hearing like the type of ceremony that they want to do, I'm Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I work with Catholic Christians, Baptists, Christian couples.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not open to doing any other non, I guess, out of that line
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have the experience and that's something that I don't feel comfortable with. And when I hear like they want to do some stuff that it just don't sit right with me, that's when I'm like, you know what? I unfortunately don't do those type of ceremonies, but I can refer you to other people and this and that.
Is
And
that
then
more like religious beliefs or just because it's just something that you wouldn't be able you will fail at it because you're not familiar with what their traditions, their custom is and the way that it flows for that particular religion?
I think it's more like a religious and the way it sits with my persona. Like
Mhm.
when someone brings something up to me, it's like I don't feel comfortable with it. And people ask me, okay, if you're Catholic, why are you doing other? Because they believe in Jesus Christ, or they believe in there's a God somewhere. Like it's not like these other non-traditional or non-religious weddings that they're talking or doing stuff that it feel uncomfortable. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just a really difficult topic to talk about, but I'm honest, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
I mean,
no.
it's great and it's appreciated that you're able to do that. You rather I mean, there's nothing wrong with who you want to work with as far as because for you, what you believe in, it sits better than somebody that you just know is not for you, and you're not gonna push yourself to do that because the results might not be so great. So, and why would you want to push yourself into that? It's not your belief that
Yeah.
you feel comfortable with. I think it's great that you feel comfortable with the ones you want to, and it's great that you refer them to somebody else that might be able
Hmm.
to help them out. That you might know that they can uh, take care of their needs for that reason. That reason, So I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So to each your own. I mean, there's plenty of them, but it's a good thing. What other challenges is there that you can't surpass and you turn away the couples?
um That or when we start when we go into the budget, like okay, so you have this amount of money, but you're wanting to hire a vendor with $700, but you're expecting them to bring up stuff like they are getting paid $3,000.
Hmm.
You gotta be realistic because I tell them ahead of time. It's like no, the couples think that all vendors are like cheap until they're getting married and they realize that they're not. So when I see that they're not really being open minded about the actual cost of the vendors right now, I tell them, you know what, probably I'm gonna have issues with them paying me too, but mainly we're gonna have issues the day of the event because they're not gonna be able to pay vendors
Mm.
that day, and we have had that where I'm like, oh, I should have turned this down, but hey, I felt bad. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and help them, but I think it's just non-realistic.
Have you came to the realization that being a good person and a business person sometimes don't mix, and you have to be stern, not cold, but unfortunately realistic. The fact that unfortunately some people sweating expectation for the budget is just not it.
Yeah.
And even though you want to be a good person and helping them out, you're the one that ends up being put in the hot seat because you're the one that has to talk to the vendors and try to get the money and paid. Or, I know you're a good person, so I don't know if it comes out of pocket, but I don't doubt if maybe at one time it came out of pocket to take care of a vendor because they couldn't pay.
I was put in a situation like that once, but I literally just say no. I will not be paying out my packet. If you can afford it, this vendor has to go. That's my, like, I'm firm about that. But other times, I remember that one time I did a wedding. I was helping out this couple to, come up with their timeline and, the questions with what vendors have you hired, what are you needing, and this and that. And when I realized that she hadn't really picked a DJ, but they still wanted music, I told her, so, you can have a wedding without a DJ. You can just have music, a smaller wedding first of all, and just have someone in charge of the music with an iPad or
Hmm.
something, and if that's the case, but you can't expect to have all this dancing and all this production when we don't have a DJ. And I have done weddings like that. I don't mind. I work with couples with all budgets as long as they're, um that they're aware that
Hmm.
they gotta pay money for stuff, right? But I remember that one couple who we came to realize that they were not going to have enough money to do a big wedding. So I talked to them and I told them, just be realistic. You really don't have the budget to do a wedding for more than 100 people. So you
Hmm.
can pick and choose what you want to do. Either you do a wedding for 100 people, but you're going to struggle, or do a smaller wedding. And after having several meetings, they were honest with me and they told me, you know what? We're just going to do a small wedding for 20 people. We're going to get married in church. We're going to go to a little restaurant, and
Yeah.
that's it. And she's like, and I apologize because I wasted your time. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You don't have to apologize with me because I would rather have you um, make that decision right now than like days before your wedding. We're still planning.
Yeah. Feel so strange about those things because I'm part of some of the events sometimes as far as like MCing and DJing. And I know just by looking where I'm at, how much it costs. I know it costs a lot of money. To me, maybe because I'm doing different things that it doesn't make sense to get in financial issues in debt to get married because I don't feel like you're prepared to get married if you're having to do that. That's just my opinion as
Yeah.
far as that. If you happen to put yourself in debt to get married, I don't think it's the time for you to get married. But people want to get married. But it's great that you're doing it just for you and your significant other to be together and have you important people. Because a lot of the times it's more for society to see see them look at us, look at our family, look how big we're doing, look how
Mhm.
big our wedding is,
Yeah.
instead of like what is the real reason why we're getting married?
Yeah.
We love each other, we want to be together, and we want our special people to be here. So it's great that that couple was able to be, realistic and have a heart with you to say, we're gonna do it like this. The reason why we getting married is because of this, and that's
Mhm.
that's what we want to do it for.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
was happy. And I
yeah,
was happy. I think I seen a lot of weddings, a lot of couples. I see when I can tell when they're going to be happy, when they're not, because of the way they're reacting and respecting each other throughout the whole process of us putting
yeah.
together the timeline, when we talk to vendors and this and that. And I some of them I do have them on social media, and I'm like, I knew it.
So you kind of sort of already guess
Yes.
This is just an observation. Don't get mad, people. I'm just saying you can already kind of sort of tell they're not gonna make it. It's like a 50% chance of you're gonna get divorced when you get married. I think
Yeah,
the statistic was like 50-50
yeah.
chance, right? With your knowledge and everything you've seen, you can already kind of sort of tell the 50-50 which way they're gonna go.
Yeah, everything starts
Yeah.
with like you say, why is the reason they're getting married? Are they getting married because they love each other?
Uh-huh.
Are they getting married because they're getting peer pressure from family members, or because they want to be cool? Because honestly, last year I saw that a huge increase on people inquiring about weddings. And if you look at the weddings from last year, a lot of the weddings were very similar.
Mm.
It's like, okay, this is becoming like a trend that they
To
want to
put it on
get
social
married,
media.
put it on social media, and everybody's their decorations are the same, their vendors are the same, and it's like, okay, what about your personality?
Yeah.
What about looking back 20, 30, 40 years back and you will be like, but I really didn't like that. You were just doing it because other people was doing it. It's like
Yeah.
that's what I had from a lot of the couples. But let me tell you, I'm gonna be honest. I'm really honest. I did rejected a lot of weddings last year, especially when I was already like fed up with a lot of the weddings that I had. And I was seeing that the vendors, because when they send me an inquiry, I request for them to put in there how many vendors and who have they hired. And when I saw that, it was just like the same vendors, the same venue, the same this, the same that, and I'm like, no, 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 like I can't be doing. It's like it will be easier for me because I did it before, but like no, I can't.
Is that because of the vendors who they were that you just didn't click together so
No,
or just
that's another topic, but no, no. It's
yeah.
just like for me, it was like just do the wedding, like do your own wedding. Don't copy anyone's wedding. Just do your own
So
wedding.
you feel like the reason why there was the same vendors because they all saw that they're that type of wedding somewhere else and they're the ones the vendors that provide that type of service so they wanted just to follow suit and grab them instead
I
of
don't
having their
know.
own vendors
I
type of
don't
people?
know. I don't know. Social media is huge right now, and I remember seeing a lot of these YouTubers or TikTokers that they got
Mhm.
married last year, and then one after the other. You look at their videos, and their weddings were similar, and then I started seeing that with my customers, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. Okay, so I sent you we're going to get into a little bit of that tea. Not too much because we want her customers to keep coming back. I sent you a video of this one guy I was talking about. I think he was some kind of coordinator, wedding planner. That he was talking about how that they didn't want any kids at
Mhm.
the venue. They did not want kids at the venue at all. They told everybody. However, one of the relatives, unfortunately for whatever reason, they couldn't accommodate a babysitter and they brought the kid in. The venue was a beautiful venue. Apparently, a lot of glass.
Yeah.
Something happened with the kid where he was doing his
Yeah.
thing, and unfortunately, there was a tragedy where he got cut with some glass. They didn't find him till 10 minutes after he had been bleeding, and unfortunately, the little kid passed away.
Yeah.
And it's tragic,
Yes.
tragic. But a lot of the times, like I don't know if you do events where the actual a couple don't want kids for the same reason that it's not like it's a liability, but kids are gonna be kids, right? They
Yeah.
don't know any better. They're gonna do what kids do. But a lot of times people don't want that and they frown upon the couple because they don't maybe they forget your wedding. I don't want to go if I can't bring my kid. But it's understandable sometimes, right?
Yes.
Do you ever run into the situations like that?
Um. Yeah. Honestly, yes. And I always tell my couples, just be honest if you want kids or not. Just be honest, and we gotta be firm and talk to your fiance, talk to each other, make the right decision,
Right.
whatever fits best for your family. Most of my couples they do allow kids, but every now and then I do get those couples that there are no kids. I remember a wedding that I did last year where they didn't want any kids, but they still had a family member that showed up with the kid, and at that time, the couple were okay with it. They're like, it's okay. Because they saw when they arrived. And I'm like, what if they wouldn't be like they wouldn't be by the entrance and they wouldn't have seen that people coming with the baby? Wouldn't they got mad if they allow
Mm-hmm.
if I allow it to be, for them to stay? Um, but I'm always prepared when that happens. It's like I'm the one that always says no.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna do a yes just to please the the guests or vendors.
Yeah.
I'm more like I gotta make sure that the couple it's happy at the end of the day. If I have to be the one that says you're not doing this, you gotta go. I'm willing to do that.
Yeah. That's another thing that trips me out too about a guest. Like you were a guest, you were important to the couple. So with that, I'm not saying there's a way to behave, but like you're being invited because they're important to you, but to act wild expectation of them of the things that the couple want, not
Yeah.
you. The couple wants this, and you go out your way to not obey what they want on their special day. That's what I don't get sometimes about guests. Like you're already gonna drink, you're already gonna dance, you're already gonna drink for free, eat what you want. You're apparently somebody important, but like just reciprocate that love for the couple and just honor what their actual requests are. And sometimes I just don't get it for guests.
It's just people don't understand. They don't respect. Oh, I guess because they haven't been in that position
Yeah.
and they don't know what it's like. I seen all kind of stuff in weddings.
And then not only that, but some of the times they don't you know how much you spend. Some or not maybe a general
Yeah.
idea, but there's a lot of money that even though again, if they do have the money, the resource to get paid, there's still a lot of money that gets involved to getting married and having everybody be happy to just you being a guest and want to kind of sort of like maybe run the place or maybe not do what they're asking you to do for whatever reason. It's
Yeah.
just kind of weird to me.
People don't respect. That's my thing. Like I seen so many things. I'm telling you, like I'm already like, okay.
Okay, tell me the
Mm.
tell me the top 3 things that you've seen that you were just like, "Wow, I can't believe this is happening." No?
Oh my
You
god.
already you think you get in trouble with us
No,
disclosing no names, no events,
no,
just
no,
in
no,
general?
no. I don't think I'll get in trouble because I think some of them they don't even know that happened.
Ah.
Others do. Others, of course, they do know.
We're not gonna
uh,
say no names or anything or
no, but
dates
I
or
remember that this
uh-huh.
little kid peeing. So I had to. There were a lot of kids. I'm not gonna say whose wedding,
Uh-huh.
but there was a lot of kids in that area,
Yeah.
and they're like they kept coming back to me like security. We like, hey, I'm gonna have to shut down the patio because there's a lot of kids and this and that. And I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And go get your parent. You can be here by yourself and this and that. The DJ gave an announcement. The grupo gave an announcement, and the kids were like wild. But I don't blame the kids. It's always the
Yeah,
parents.
yeah,
It's
as a
always the parents,
parents.
right?
Yeah.
So I was like fed up with with the security coming up to me. I made the decision of closing the patio. I'm
Mm.
gonna close it, and I don't care.
Mhm.
So I went and I was about to close the door when I see a little kid peeing in the tree in the middle of the patio. And they had that artificial grass.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, what in
yeah.
the world? And he was there all by himself. And I'm like, where are your parents? And he started saying, bad words and this. And I'm like, go, get inside, because I'm gonna lock this door and you're gonna stay, out here. So that's one. The other one I would say, this not bender, but this couple bride couple that I would say the bride. Um, she didn't want to follow directions on how things were done when it comes to payments.
Mhm.
You know, when you get to the venue, you gotta pay security as soon as
Mhm.
they get there
Yeah.
because that's how it works. That's how it works. And they didn't want to pay them. I kept coming back to her like, "Hey, we need to pay them. We need to pay them. We need to pay them." And she was like just ignoring me, and she was in a really bad mood, honestly, because things were coming the way she wanted
Right.
because of the vendor not hiring vendors to do certain things and relying on family, and family didn't show up for her. So me and the girls, well, that time her, um, we step in to help and this as much as we could. But hey,
Mhm.
I'm not a designer for flowers. I'm not. I don't know how to do none of that. And but she was still upset, and that she carried that throughout the whole event. And until security was like, if she doesn't pay me within the next hour, I'm gonna have to shut down the
Yeah.
event.
And
And
you
I
can't drink if you don't have no security. Most venues don't let you have alcoholic beverages.
The security was there. They were allowing drinks. They didn't threaten me with that, which is okay. But I really didn't mind at that point. I'm like, do
Hmm.
what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And I really told him, hey, you seen me go up to the couple, especially the bride, and tell her because she was the one in charge of the money. And I told her a couple of times, and she's ignoring me. So I can help you, and I can do anything more. So you do what you gotta do. He's like, I'm gonna give her 15 more minutes. So again, I went and told the bride, hey, we gotta pay security, or they're gonna shut down everything. Oh,
Hmm.
I'm gonna just after this tell them that after I finish doing this and that. And I told her, we're in the middle of the presentation. If you do not pay them right now, they're gonna really shut down everything. She didn't really do. She didn't listen. They they shut down the event. The So it came up that she hadn't paid the DJ either. So the DJ was upset, and they're like, okay, well, if she's paying security, then she can pay me too, because I can continue the event. So she had to do some stuff to get money because the people that was supposed to help her to pay those vendors
Mm.
had not showed up in the wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told you were supposed to have this money ready, not rely on people. But they shut down her event. She came up with the money later and was upset at everybody. And vendors were paid, and we were able to continue. But that was crazy.
How long did you start the party for?
I don't know,
Como una hora? Must have been an hour or so.
maybe
45
like
minutes.
45 minutes.
I bet that felt like a lifetime.
I mean, for me at that point, I was like, okay, if nothing can be okay. So the security told me if she doesn't pay, we're shutting down the wedding, and the couple is going to jail because they're doing something without having the money, and they agreed to pay us when we arrive here, but the money is nowhere. And then she owes the DJ $5,000.
Mm.
I'm like, what in the world is this?
Telling you, if you're not prepared to get married like that, so and then not only that, but padrinos, you have to have super reliable padrinos if you're gonna do the padrinos, but you still have to have the
You have
back.
to have the money. Don't
The
rely on
yeah,
padrinos. I always tell my couples,
yeah,
you gotta make sure that that padrino is sleeping next to you with the money, because they might not show up the day of the wedding.
and that's sad too that they did that to her too, that they let her hang in, So I can see where that 50-50 split which way is gonna go for
Yeah.
her. Okay,
Yeah.
one more. What was the next one? Crazy wild one. Was it with the? Is there any fighting? I'm glad the
Mm,
weddings, like at least for most of the weddings that we're done with DJ Cream, is mostly end at 11, 12.
yeah.
I think it's the best time for you to
Yes.
stop your
Yes.
weddings because after that, nothing good happens.
Yeah.
People get more
Yeah.
drunk, and then there's all kinds of stuff that happens afterwards. We haven't. We, only one we went seen a little crazy stuff, but other than that, it's like not a big deal.
I had couples that want to do weddings that end at 1 to even one that I got an inquiry at 4 a.m.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what in the world is this? I always say no to those long ones because it's like, honestly, that's a lot of time. That's too much. Um, but I think now the venues don't want you to get more time with them. Like, you can pay extra to stay there longer. But some venues, they know that everything is a liability. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone gets in an accident or something, there's going to be investigations. If the venue is open late and this and that. So most of the venues that I've seen, the latest you can end your party is midnight,
Yeah.
and then you have from midnight to 1 for cleanup, and that's they're like very strict, like. we don't want to do it any longer.
Makes sense though, because again, there's more alcohol flowing, and
Yes.
then he just becomes wild. And again, you're right, the liability is just more stuff if something happens.
Yeah.
So man. But anyways, what other one? One more.
I think this one is the one that one of my I love the couple.
Hmm.
Like I really love working with that couple, and I was so upset when this vendor didn't do the well. They fucked up
They
really
messed
bad.
up big time. Big time.
I'm sorry for the word,
Yeah,
but
it's all
it's
good.
I can't find another word for them.
So it was a major F up.
The vendor showed up at the wrong location
Mm.
to deliver food. Right? Okay. I'm doing logistics. Okay, you can still get here on time if you pick up stuff now. Get coming this way now. Okay. But they were lying to me
Hmm.
about the location that they arrived. They said, "Oh, we're like 30 minutes from there." I'm like, "No biggie.
Perfect. Yeah,
Come
no
on.
biggie.
Come this way." Well, they were actually 2 hours away.
Jesus Christ. More lies.
Okay, so that wasn't it. The they the ceremony ended. We had to start with other stuff to keep
Hmm.
guests entertained, and people was hungry even though they had cocktail hour, so there were little you know desserts and everything going on, but it wasn't food, so people was hungry, starving,
Hmm.
and I still wouldn't hear back from the vendor how far were they from the venue. And I was freaking out. I called the owner. We were in communication, and they were lying to me, just lying and lying and lying. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to the couple. The couple was the sweetest. I always have them in my mind, and man, I wish I could have done something else.
But it was you didn't hire the vendor. They're the ones that found them,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
What was the solution? What did it work out? How did it work out? Did they get really really late there?
Well, that wasn't the worst.
Oh my goodness, more.
Thank you so much for checking out this full episode of the Global Land Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe. Leave us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment that you were here today. Thank you very much. Till next time.
So they arrived. Finally, they arrived there after us having to do a lot of things to keep guests entertained. They finally arrived there. When they arrived there, the conditions that they brought the food into the venue was like, what is this?
Not very sanitary.
Not that, and then okay, so they clean, everything looked nice, whatever. Okay, I'm like, okay, I hope nobody gets sick. Hopefully, anything. I'm like, but they're the ones with the license. They know what they're doing. They have, control of that. Hopefully, okay. So we start serving guests finally, and then we ran out of food,
Mm,
and we didn't feed like I don't know, 40, 60 people.
Jesus, you a lot of people.
And I called the owner of the company and I told them, you knew them better for how many people you were supposed to bring food for.
Hmm.
And what pissed me off was when the people that was delivering the food, she opens the door and I'm already in the parking lot willing to help her, like, let's get this going.
Hmm.
And I asked her, so what happened? And she's like, oh, my sister put the address. She just put the name of the venue, but she didn't really care to put which venue because I have multiple. You probably know
Hmm.
which one.
The spring.
Yes, the Springs.
Spring's got a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So she's like, but I mean, it's okay. We're here. And I'm like, what do you mean you're here? You're late. This is going, we have too much going on. You're
Yeah.
crazy. And then we were in the kitchen cleaning, helping them. And I step out of the kitchen, and my one of my assistants stay there, and she's like, Mireya, I need to tell you this before they leave because you know what you gotta do. And I'm like, what? This lady that came to deliver the food said that she wasn't really worried about being late because the couple seemed to be so nice and they knew that they were good Christians and they were gonna forgive them.
Oh man, that's so wrong.
That pissed me off. And
Hmm.
I went into the kitchen. I told them, I don't care if they're Christian, whatever religion they are, you don't do this.
Yeah.
You do not do this. And I called the owner of the company and I told them what happened. I don't know what happened from there. I don't care. But I told them, whenever I see your name in one of my couples, you're literally, I'm gonna make them cancel your contract because I don't care how much you promise you change. I don't know about that. And this was horrible what you did to my couple.
Yeah.
Because literally we were thinking of going to go buy pizza,
Yeah.
going to do this and that, but we didn't have enough time anymore. We didn't. We were so far, the springs are in the middle of the
Middle
country
of nowhere.
sometime.
Yep. Sometimes.
So it's like the event was gonna end in like an hour and a half. That wasn't gonna be enough for even the pizza place to make enough pizza for the remaining of the people.
Mm.
And I talked to the couple and I told them, I'm sorry. But by then they were already seeing all the, things happening. And I have to give them the bad news that because people were coming in. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, they go to the couple. We're not getting this. We're not getting that. Let them enjoy the day.
Yeah.
But they were going to the couple and complain that they didn't get to eat. So I literally have to pull them from the wedding. I told them, you know what? I hate to tell you this, but unfortunately, there's no more food for your guests. So this is what's happening. That's why there's a lot going on. And unfortunately, I hate to see I that was the only time I seen my bride cry for a
Mm-hmm.
situation like that. And until this day, I'm so upset.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I'm so upset.
Yeah. Have you run into that vendor before again?
No,
Ever again?
no, no. But I know who they are. I have their number and everything saved because probably they're probably doing better. I hope, but still, it's like once you have an experience like that, you just don't want to deal with that.
But
anymore.
at one point, I guess the owner should know better. But at the same
Yeah,
time, the the
audacity.
audacity of that person saying that the people were gonna be okay for you messing up because they're gonna forgive you because they know that they're good people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that
That's you
pissed
just
me off.
taking advantage
Yeah,
of just knowing that they're good people, and that it just makes you one of the worst kind of individuals out there. If you are willing to be, oh, I can mess up because they're just gonna forgive me.
and like I'm a coordinator. Of course, I'm gonna check every little detail. But the
Yeah,
way they would show up dressed, showing everything here, down here, and just you didn't look right.
no uniform,
No
not nothing.
uniform,
Don't look
nothing.
professional.
Spaghetti shorts showing everything. This is, believe me, this was a Baptist wedding where all my guests were nicely dressed, girls and guys. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
was showing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but things were showing over here in the
Wow.
you know, food area, and I was like, I wanted to grab a blanket or something and be like, "Just wear
Un
this,
mantel
please,
de
un
la
mantel de la
un
mesa or
mantel de la
something like.
mesa. Shoop, wrap them
Can you?
up.
Will you mind like? I was willing to pay for that mantel as long as I would put it up on top, like.
That's wow.
But I'm like, okay, no me puedo meter ahí because like that's they can get I don't know, in trouble with their. I don't know. I didn't think of anything else than just criticize something in my
Yeah.
head.
Hey, okay, so I messaged you about a few questions. I don't know if you have anything in mind that you had in mind that you wanted to discuss, say, talk about, anything like that popped in mind.
Maybe um the respect
Uh
from
huh.
vendor to vendor.
Okay. So you kind of sort of don't see that sometimes.
Yeah. And I can see where that's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's lack of communication. I get it, but I feel like there's some vendors out there that they're not really interested in working together because they want to be the star of the event. And I understand if you're like
Mm-hmm.
a really well-known vendor for DJ, photo, video, whatever, but you still have to work together because we need to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And so I had run into situations when some vendors don't want to work together. They want to do their own thing and they don't care about you doing your own, you had your timeline and they probably they have their own and they're doing things their own way and I'm over here like, but this is not what we planned.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I wish vendors will be open in working together as a team, not as a competition or I'm doing better than you and this and that. You
I
know.
think that's why the reason why we click a lot is because I feel the same way whenever we doing that. We just like have to be part of the whole. It's not for us. It's for the people that
Yeah.
are getting married or the people who the event is for. You know what I mean? And we got to make everything to be able to make sure it's done right, correctly, effectively. You don't have to be concerned if there's things that pop up. It's nothing to do with anything that we did. It's just things off like things that are rare that happen, but nothing to do with the work that we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that because it's true. I mean, and at the end of the day, even the vendors, like you're just getting paid for a
Yeah.
service, even if you're that good, to provide a service for this couple that got you. So you need to be able to, again, customer service, be able to cater to what they want you to
Hmm.
do, work together with the coordinator to get the timeline because you have particular times you want to hit because you have to be out of the venue at a particular time. So you need to, kind of sort of fall in with the program.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but like, dude, this is not you. I mean, I get it. You might be like a superstar in your area, but that's kind of do with this
Yeah.
their day, not your day.
And unfortunately, some couples they do realize what a cheaty person that vendor they hire after all
Yeah.
the day of the wedding because they realize that they're not working together and they're doing their own thing and they're like, but this is not what we planned with my coordinator. And they're like, oh, but it's better to do it this time. And they're like, no, because we had this and this and this.
Hmm.
And I feel bad. I feel bad because some of them they can be like, I don't care. Either we do it like this or we don't do it. So I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I'll figure something out. If they don't want to cooperate, that's fine. Let's just do what they're doing and I'll figure something. So I go back into my timeline and start moving things and everything.
I think I like that part about that you figuring it out after somebody's not cooperative and they don't want to cooperate with everything that's supposed to flow. Then you immediately can troubleshoot and find ways to adjust so things can keep moving. Because one team player don't want to be team player.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's awesome. Where does your patience come from? Because a lot of these events, coordinating events and dealing with people, there's a lot of patience that has to be involved with. Where did it come from?
I work in customer service
Uh,
for years and years and years and years. So I heard everything.
yeah,
So it's like I was just a customer service representative, then I became a supervisor and then just going up and up and up. So I will get like those calls from people when they're like ready to hear a yes
yeah,
from you or they're
yeah.
not gonna go nowhere. So it's like, sometimes people are not really um they're not paying attention to what they're saying or they're just going by emotions. And I'm more like ¿cómo se dice? Como yo pienso,
More logical.
more logical.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if I do things with my feelings, nothing is gonna get done, and you still gotta move on
Yeah,
and do things. So I'm more like, okay, let's use logic. So I start just listening to people like, and my mind is like, okay, she's complaining about this, and I'm putting it together. How are we gonna solve this? Where they're like this and this, and I'm like, okay, we'll figure something out. And then I leave, and they're like, but how can you do it? Oh my god, this was amazing. I'm like, because they're always just wanting to vent, and
yeah,
I'm over
yeah.
here thinking about solutions.
I used to do customer service too, and then I used to have this lady that just uh winter storm hit or electricity went out. She just went in as soon as I opened the lines, and I just turned the volume down, and I'm like, mm-hmm, yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. Okay, okay. Okay. And then like about 5 minutes later, you know what? Thank you. I just wanted to vent to
Yeah,
somebody. I don't need anything. Okay, bye.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what she wanted to do.
yeah.
Just get it all out because the last person hung up on her
Mm-hmm.
and didn't let her. And I was just like, it's
Yeah,
just not personal. I don't know this lady
yeah,
like that, you know? If I
yeah,
can help her, I can. Literally, all she wanted to do is go off on me for a little bit. And then I just listened to her because, again, nothing was happening
yeah,
to me. And then she just hung up. I thank you so much. And straight up hung up. I was like, and then I have people that talk so much and through their frustration that they get a resolution as they're talking.
yeah.
Is that I'm just listening to
Mm-hmm.
them.
I think I'm like that. I'm more like a person that likes to talk and talk and talk and go off and this and that. But in me going off, I find my own solution. I'm like, I'm just wasting my time. I gotta do this and this and that. You know what? Got a lot to do.
That's awesome. We're running short on time. Thank you very much for coming and sharing some of the things that you do. Real quickly before I let you go, what is all your social media? Where can people reach you at if they want to, for the things that you cater for the people that you like to work with? Where can they reach you at?
All my social media, it's under Weddings by Mireya. Instagram, what is it? Facebook, and now TikTok.
TikTok. Irene put you on TikTok game?
She is a major reason why I'm on social media. Anything you see on my social media,
Yeah.
it's pretty much because of her. Like me, I don't have like the mind for that. It's her.
Awesome.
No, I can't do none of that.
That's awesome.
No.
All right. Find her on social media. We'll put all the links on the description. What is a very important lesson that you learned when you began doing wedding coordinating that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out? What would that be?
Have compassion for others as
Mm-hmm.
much as you don't want to. Just have compassion because, like we talked earlier about,
Mm-hmm.
some people come from different backgrounds. They have different, mentalities and ways to do things, and you have your own too. So just have compassion for everybody.
Awesome. This was a little deeper. Sometimes, usually throughout my day or when I wake up, I say something along those lines because I heard it a while back. I really like it. I'm not immortal. I am mortal, and I will die one day. And that's not to scare me, to frighten and terrorize me, and put me in a panic. But it's just reality. Es lo que
Yeah.
pasa en la vida, right? It's gonna be real at one time. But it makes me hurry up and do stuff now and be continues to do things, be active.
Yeah.
With that, I wish you a long, long, prosperous life. However, when everything's said and done, what do you want people to think and feel about your life?
I don't know. I never thought about that. Maybe that I was a good person.
Mm-hmm.
That I was willing to help others. I don't know. That's a good question. I need to think about that.
Those are pretty good ones. Those are pretty good ones. I just don't be too good of a person to put yourself in a pickle. You know what
No,
I mean? That
no,
sometimes happens to people. I mean,
I'm a good person, but I know my limits.
your
And it
boundaries.
comes to my couples,
Yeah.
no. If they say no, it's a no. I don't care if you say yes 1,000 times and you're gonna accuse me with the president.
Like
You're still
no is
getting
a
a
no.
no.
No is a no.
Yes.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I appreciate you taking the time. I don't know if you ever did. I don't know if you ever seen you do interviews because I was looking for you,
No,
looking for things like
no, this
this.
is the first time.
But awesome. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you're able to come share what you do, your little bit of your story and what got you and some of the challenges to get you here. I'm glad your friend pushed you because I think you're really good. I'm
Thank
not just
you.
saying just because I work with you, it's because, I've seen the videos and everything else that you put out, that she puts out. They look great. And I'm pretty sure your couples, I'm pretty sure the majority of your couples that I've seen are, they like you. That's the reason why they keep referring you to
Yes.
different people. So that's amazing that you do. And just doing all the things that you do, I appreciate the patience whenever we with you. The fact that you already know when to do and come and tell me, even right next to me, esto, ahorita, así, 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 así. No, no snapping fingers. No snapping fingers, pero
I need to add that.
no, 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 don't do it.
I'm just
Because people
kidding.
might think,
I'm just
but
kidding.
yeah, I do appreciate your patience and your professionalism as
Thank you.
far as the things that you move in. And I'm telling you, I see you working your magic and everything. And if you're nice enough, she might give you some conchas if they're left over. So without a
I
doubt,
gave you more than that. I gave you coffee
yes,
before
you
food. I
did.
always make sure
Yes.
you guys eat. It's like
All
you
the
guys,
vendors should make sure they eat. They
no.
got a table, make sure they get
And
to
I
eat.
always go to DJ
Yes.
first because you guys need
Yes.
to eat.
Yeah.
So don't say just conchas.
No,
More
not
than
just
that.
conscious. Food in general, she makes sure it's taken care of. So without a doubt, you're definitely a global Latin factor. Mireya, you're a global Latin factor. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe. Don't be playing. You've been here watching too many videos already for free. Don't play. Subscribe today. Subscribe today. Give us a comment, like, thumbs up, all that. And remember, we are just like you. We are people. We are the spice in this melting pot. And it is the world connect time.
Thank you so much for being part of the community, checking out this amazing story and this amazing episode. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel and check out the episodes that we already have prepared for you. Thank you very much. Until next time.
Walks like a pedo, but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and from Puerto Rico.